Hey everybody, want to talk about a lot of things for this video. First thing I want to talk about is the SummerSlam main event. I thought the SummerSlam main event was awesome. It saved the show. This is a match that provided that, a certain kind of unpredictability, a certain level of excitement that you just don't get the feel nowadays. And I think everyone knew the undercard was going to suck, and that's fine. But as long as that main event delivers, sometimes as long as the main event delivers above expectations, the lasting impression is pretty much, the most important thing, and that could boost the overall rating of the show, and that's exactly what happened with SummerSlam. But the Bryan Danielson return thing worked out beautifully. I just want to say this about Bryan Danielson. I'm very, very happy that he's back in the WWE. Because honestly, him wrestling in the independents, even him wrestling in Ring of Honor, I mean, you kind of just get the feeling that he's going backwards. I mean, he has nothing left to prove. I mean, at this stage in his career, him wrestling in front of Evolve shows with 200 people, it's just kind of pointless. You just kind of get the feeling that he's just not progressing. But now after the SummerSlam main event, I'm very, very confident, and I think it's a huge possibility that he could very well main event WrestleMania in a couple years. I don't think it's that much of a fantasy. I think the all he's got to do is just keep doing what he's doing, because he's been wrestling his ass off. He looks great out there, and I agree with Mr. Narrator. He said that he hasn't toned his style down at all. Like if anything, in my opinion, he looks like he's even more aggressive in the WWE. He's just doing anything he wants to do out there. And I think Instant Classic G1, he made a good point. He said that at Night of Champions, maybe you could do Miz versus Danielson, give Danielson the U.S. title. I think that'd be a great way to just get him jump started back into the WWE. So yeah, but for those that don't know, Danielson's wrestling Chikara, WXW in Germany, Dragon Gate, and Evolve. So he's wrestled a couple dates. There's a couple DVDs coming out at Smart Mark Video right now with some Bryan Danielson matches on them. So definitely check him out. So looks like Danielson's here to stay in the WWE, and really looking forward to it. But let me talk about the rest of this video. The rest of this video is going to be about Tyler Black, ROH, Gabe Sapolsky, and Adam Pearce. Whole bunch of Ring of Honor stuff that's going on right now. I'm very, very conflicted. I've never been this conflicted over something in a long, long time. This whole Tyler Black, Roderick thing, I'm just not feeling it. But first, let me talk about Tyler Black. Him going to the WWE, I have mixed feelings on it. Now, I'm very, very happy for him. Obviously, everyone deserves a chance to make a lot of money. The economy sucks, as most of us know. But, Tyler Black, I think there was, I don't know, I just think maybe, I'm just saying maybe, the right thing to do would have been to just kind of delay this whole situation. I'm sure, whoever signed Tyler to this deal, maybe Tyler and this whoever signed them could have came to an agreement that maybe in a couple months after Tyler would drop the belt, then they could start talking again, and then they could finally do it. But the fact that he's in the middle of this championship reign, the fact that Ring of Honor has put so much money behind him, they built him up for so long, and things are starting to finally turn around for him. I just kind of have mixed feelings. I think now is just the wrong time. Right before the biggest show of the year, the Royal of Honor. I just think it just kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not saying he turns his back on Ring of Honor, because honestly, he doesn't owe the Ring of Honor fans anything. He's busted his ass from time to time. I mean, night after night after night, pay-per-view after pay-per-view, and you still got people calling him overrated. You still got people calling him a pussy. I mean, he's given the ROH fans no reason to stay. I mean, the ROH fans have given him no reason to stay, because they pretty much just shit on him anytime they get a chance to. But but I'm happy for Tyler Black. The fact he's going to the WWE, good for him. But this whole thing with Roderick Strong, I mean, it's just a little bit too predictable now. Like some other people are saying, you pretty much know Roderick's going to win. So I think Ring of Honor is going to have to pull something out of their ass to make this special. They definitely do. Obviously, I don't think you could do a ladder match now. I seriously doubt Tyler's going to want to wrestle a ladder war right before he signs with the WWE. And, it's going to take a lot to live up to those two previous matches, especially the first one. So I definitely think you could rule that out. People are talking about a four-way with Christopher Daniels, Davey Richards, and Roderick Strong. Well, the problem with Davey is Davey's going to be in Japan, which also sucks. I think Ring of Honor needs to do a better job of keeping these guys, exclusive. Maybe that's something they need to look into down the road, just exclusive contracts. That's probably never going to happen. But the fact that Davey's going to Japan again and missing another New York City show, it definitely sucks. But what are you going to do? But yeah, I mean, I was thinking maybe a four-way. Maybe now you could do Daniels, Roderick, Tyler, and Aries in a four-way match. thinking about giving Aries back the belt. Now, honestly, I would give Austin Aries the belt if I could make the decision. I think Aries getting the belt, it's kind of like going back to basics, start all over, because Tyler Black is leaving. I think giving it to Roderick now, a little bit too predictable. I just don't like where Roderick's character is with Truth Martini. That's just not Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong doesn't need a mouthpiece. Roderick Strong was the leader of the No Remorse Corps. He led the top stable in 2007. That stable was a monster. I mean, he does. This is my opinion. I know Roderick Strong sucks on the mic, but at this point in his career, I just think it's too late to give him a mouthpiece. He's come so far. I mean, and Truth Martini, it's just, I don't know. I just think he's kind of mediocre. I think there's better guys out there. Obviously, Larry Sweeney is probably the top candidate, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, the other things, like I said, I'm very, very conflicted about this. I think the other thing is, the problem with doing a four-way is, I mean, you're kind of missing out, because if you just do one-on-one, you could kind of create the same feeling that Cena and RVD had in One Night Stand 2. That type of Cena heat. That was just awesome heat. And I think there's a strong possibility you could get that with Tyler versus anyone else in just a one-on-one match. So him and Roderick Strong. I mean, Roderick will pretty much easily win the match. I don't think they're going to change it. They'll just do Roderick and Tyler. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is going to be an awesome match. But the bottom line is, we've just seen it in that Supercard of Honor. Some people have mixed feelings about it. We've seen these two guys wrestle all the time this past year. It's just like, what can they do that they haven't done so far? I mean, the only thing I could think of is a ladder match or a steel cage match, but I seriously doubt they're going to go in that direction. I mean, it's possible. Maybe they could add Aries to the mix. Maybe you could add Christopher Daniels. See, the problem with giving Daniels the belt now, in my opinion, I just don't think he deserves it. Without a doubt, I think he's going back to TNA. He's got a high mortgage to pay. He's got kids and everything like that. So you don't want to give the belt to someone that might go to TNA. And he doesn't really deserve it. I mean, Daniels has wrestled, like maybe two matches on HDNet and 2 matches on, big shows. So just doesn't deserve it, in my opinion. So personally, I think the smartest thing to do is for the well-being of the company is to give it to Austin Aries. If they could somehow get the belt back on Aries, I think that'd be great. Because like so many people are saying, Aries is just on another level from anyone else as far as character development and cutting promos and just the total package. Aries is definitely that guy. I just don't think Roderick has a lot of momentum right now. I just think it's silly to give him the belt now with Truth Martini. I always envision Roderick winning it as like a Chris Benoit babyface. I just seeing him win it as a cowardly heel. It's just I don't know. And if they do Tyler versus Roderick, I think they need to totally eliminate the heel and babyface dynamics, because obviously Tyler's going to get booed out of the building. So I wouldn't even bring Truth Martini out. Just bring out Roderick. He's going to be over as hell in the match regardless. So I mean, there'll probably be people that don't want Roderick to win. I mean, maybe they could do some type of screw job finish. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things they could do. Like I said, I'm very, very conflicted about this. I'm not sure what direction is the right way to go. There should be a lot of things coming out in the next couple of weeks that should definitely add a lot of interest to this show. The other thing is Homicide. Homicide looks like he might be back in Ring of Honor, but it wouldn't hold my breath, though. I think Homicide and Gabe Sapolsky are very, very good friends. That's Gabe Sapolsky's boy. I mean, they're very, very tight. I would imagine Homicide would probably commit to Evolve or Dragon Gate USA before he does Ring of Honor. But he could. I mean, he could very well end up in Ring of Honor. A lot of his friends are still there, so it's a possibility. But Homicide, I'm kind of against Homicide coming back to ROH. I just don't think he has nothing. He doesn't have anything left to prove, in my opinion. He won the ROH championship, but he definitely needs to be heel. A babyface Homicide, I'm just not really for it right now. But it'll be awesome to see him come back at the show, though. Just to hear him come out, that'll be a huge pop right there. Okay, I just want to touch on the Adam Pearce situation. Ring of Honor recently let go of their booker, Adam Pearce. He hasn't even been with the company for 2 years as the head booker. There's rumors that maybe flying him in from San Diego was costing them a lot of money, and they replaced him with Delirious. Looks like Delirious, Jim Cornette, and a former WWE writer by the name of Dave Lagana pretty much going to be overseeing Ring of Honor over the next year. But let me just talk about some of the negatives and positives of Pearce, and I'll talk about Gabe Sapolsky as well. I'll incorporate his decision-making process into this as well. But the things about Adam Pearce, which I did not like, I didn't like a lot of the talent that he brought in. I thought a lot of stuff was pretty awful. on the undercard scene within Ring of Honor since he took over. I mean, there was a lot of great things. I think he did a pretty fairly good job. But some of the things, I don't really know how much credit he really deserves because a lot of stuff got a lot better since Jim Cornette came aboard. So, we really don't know unless you're backstage and you're really part of the company. It's really hard to say. I mean, I'm not subscribed to the Pro Wrestling Observer. I'm sure if you are, you probably have an upper hand as far as knowledge goes about what really takes place. But um, my problem with Adam Pearce was some of the talent that he was bringing in just wasn't impressive. A lot of shows were just awful. Going back to Escalation, going back to Civil Warfare, and Eye of the Storm too. It just felt like a lot of shows were purposely just sucked because guys had to conserve energy for the next shows, and that never really happened with Gabe Sapolsky. I felt like Gabe Sapolsky did a great job of trying to make each and every show stand out. I mean, a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's not a good decision making. That's not a good decision making to make every show out to be the greatest show of all time." But the bottom line is I felt like Gabe Sapolsky did a great job of making sure every Ring of Honor show at least you got your money's worth, and you can't really say that about Adam Pearce. And some of the guys he did bring in, like I thought the Embassy angle was pretty poorly done. I thought him bringing in guys like Egotistico Fantastico and Rashe Brown, even the Big Bang. I just wasn't feeling the main event, and I know there's political reasons behind it, but why run the pay-per-view in Charlotte if you have to put those guys on the show like Blue Demon Jr. The fact that he had a main event at ROH pay-per-view, I just think that was a mistake in my opinion. I mean, you can make as many excuses as you want, but I just didn't like it. But don't get me wrong, he's done a lot of good things. There has been a lot of good main events. A lot of great matches and shows have happened under Adam Pearce. But really don't know how much credit he deserves. I feel like Jim Cornette probably deserves some credit as well, and some of the other guys like Austin Aries and maybe even Delirious. I mean, I'm sure he's had a lot of help, and I think Kerry Silken is underrated as well. I'm sure. I mean, he's the one that's pushing for this. I'm sure he's the one that's pushing for all the expansion. That's something that Gabe Sapolsky did not want. He did not. He liked the fact that Ring of Honor was underground. He wanted to keep it that way. Some of the things I liked, and I know there's some people out there like Next Big Thing that totally hate Gabe Sapolsky. But the fact is, he let the younger guys shine. He let the undercard guys go out and steal the show. He didn't hold guys back, and he didn't want to change. He wanted to learn from the mistakes of ECW, and that's kind of what I liked about Ring of Honor. I kind of liked the fact that they were, they just worried about themselves and they just tried to do what they did and didn't want to like progress and become a huge player. Back in the day, that's kind of like what I liked about him. But at this point, I kind of agree with Kerry Silken. They need to start thinking about the future and start expanding, and that's something Gabe Sapolsky was kind of against. He hated pay-per-view continuity. He hated booking for the pay-per-views because the DVD taping cards kind of got lost in the shuffle. Kind of had to put them on the back burner just to make room for the pay-per-views, and that's what he hated. So that's something he was totally against. So that just didn't work. But at this point in time, I think Ring of Honor has a chance to become a huge player, and so I think this is the right decision. To bring Delirious aboard. I think Delirious you probably see a mixture of Adam Pearce and Gabe Sapolsky. Delirious probably go back to more of a new school style. Adam Pearce is kind of old school. Saving the great stuff for the main event undercards, not really delivering. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I didn't have a lot of time to talk about it, so I'm probably leaving some stuff out. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. All right. Just one more thing I want to add. One thing about Gabe Sapolsky that I loved was the fact that he was willing to work with other promotions like Noah, Dragon Gate, Chikara. After a while, during the Adam Pearce era, that kind of stopped happening. And I don't like the way they censored the message board. How you're really not allowed to talk about other promotions besides Ring of Honor and besides some of the other companies that ROH sells, their DVDs. So that's the other thing I like. And back in the day, if you follow Ring of Honor, then that pretty much opened you up to Chikara, Dragon Gate, and FIP, a whole plethora of other promotions, and that's something you really don't get nowadays from Ring of Honor. So this just it's just another point I wanted to make.